Bears have $13.
He's getting a Macbook for his porn addiction.
That's not true. Eric, don't believe shit.
What? You gonna be gooning on stream or what?
Huh? What?
You're gonna be gooning on stream?
What? No.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. I feel like there's something in the water that only MMA fighters are drinking from right now. What in the fuck is going on? Like, everybody keeps crashing out on the MMA side of this, right? Whether it's Roger Jackson, whether it's Rampage Jackson, whether it's Matt Riddle, whether it's Ronda Rousey. Yes, Ronda Rousey. That's today's topic, by the way. I think there is something being put in the water that only MMA fighters are drinking from. And I want to drink from that because I want to be able to crash out on random ops who have nothing to do with me or my life, because I'm petty as fuck like that, and I need an excuse to start shit and drama so I can likely post it on my YouTube channel to get clicks and views. All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, Ronda Rousey she just refuses to take any ownership or at least take any accountability for the fact that she fucking sucked, right? Everybody's in her crosshairs, right? We have to talk about her going out of her way to bury Vince McMahon, burying WWE as a whole. She couldn't even resist. She went after poor old Alexa Bliss, and guess who came to Alexa Bliss's defense outside of the stan community who stands her, and the rest of the the deeper portions of the wrestling community. MJF comes to her defense. So we'll talk about that, and we'll put a cap on this bottle known as my shitty podcast, or lack thereof, when we eventually talk about Matt Riddle being canceled. Which, by the way, no love for Matt Riddle, but at the same time, I kind of disagree with how they're doing it. But nevertheless, though, let's kick it off with Ronda Rousey not knowing how to shut the fuck up. Oh, and by the way, typically I like to play clips nowadays, but unfortunately they paywall the shit out of this podcast that she was on. It's called the Lapsed Fan Podcast. You can go look it up yourself. But there's no way I'm paying money to listen to Ronda Rousey bitch. I would rather get thrown into a volcano dick first. So instead, we're just gonna read all the excerpts most of these lovely people who have no lies and wouldn't know grass if it touched them in the ass we're nice enough to post for us to consume. So let's kick it off with this right here. Ronda Rousey says WWE will erase her from women's wrestling history. And I quote, "I don't know if I'll be part of that story about how women are main eventers in 10 years, but I don't give a fuck, because women are gonna be main eventers in 10 years. I realized at one point, man, I do so much badass fucking gangster shit that no one's ever gonna know about. And then I realized why I do it. It's because I get a kick out of doing badass gangster shit. It's not so people can see it and appreciate it. It's so I can pop myself." Okay, too much information there. Like, what be some badass gangster shit to do right now? And then I go do it. There's so much people will never know about my contributions. My legend is really just me experiencing it. Guys, you have no idea. I'm the most badass gangster bitch ever. So, will everyone appreciate it? Probably not. Will everyone benefit from it? Yeah, they fucking will. Okay, so we're already kicking it off to a nice start. Okay, so what are you talking about? What are you ranting and raving about, you psychopath? Like, holy fuck, get a grip on your ego. That ego is out of space. Holy shit. Chris Statlander, someone's trying to rip off your gimmick right now. Copy infringement, copy infringement, copy infringement. Her head is in the fucking clouds right now. Ronda Rousey, look, credit where credit is due. Let's not pretend as if Ronda Rousey did not main event WrestleMania. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're not going to sit here. We're not going to gaslight, okay? She absolutely was the first woman to main event WrestleMania alongside Charlotte and Becky Lynch. Now let's look a little bit deeper into that match and let's ask ourselves, what did she contributed as far as, outside of the historical value, which was absolutely nothing, because that was arguably, if not the worst main event in WrestleMania history. Let's look at all her other contributions. She had great matches with Triple H, Kurt Angle, and Stephanie McMahon, even though that match was pretty much primarily carried by Triple H and Kurt Angle. But let's look at all her other contributions, like when she came back the second time and did absolutely nothing but have shitty matches. But that's fine. That's okay, because you know why? Because Ronda Rousey is a trailblazer. She's doing gangster shit. No one can tell her that her shit doesn't stink. Tissue. Oh my God, someone buy out the supply of tissue. We need to go back to 2020 COVID, because right now, no one can tell Ronda Rousey nothing. Her shit does not stink. She needs to be wiped. Someone help her out. Wipe her mouth also, because she's talking a lot of shit. Oh, Ronda, you're so cringe. You're so cringe. But don't worry, folks. It gets so much better, because Ronda Rousey goes out of her way to shit talk, guess who? Vince McMahon. And I quote, no, I just kind of didn't give a fuck. He was too scared to say anything to my face, you know? He was like a roundabout dick. I think if he actually says some shit to my face, he'd get it back, and he knew that. So it was more like shiesty carny shit. Mind you, this is in reference to Rousey compared the experience to working with Dana White. And apparently she was trying to say that Vince McMahon, on one hand, would say whatever he needed just to get her out of the room, and then turn around and do some sneaky shit because, you know, she was the shits. And it frustrated her because she didn't like being talked about behind her back, right? But she continues on by saying this. I was used to working with Dana, who was the most straightforward person ever. Vince would just say whatever he had to say to get me out of the room, and then do his shiesty carny shit. And I was like, the fuck? I just can't work with anyone that isn't straightforward. Who cares, little bro? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? What value did you bring to the brand outside of your name value after 2015? Like, what did you do, right? Like you got your ass kicked, you got humiliated, you got exposed. Now, mind you, I'm not an MMA guy, so I only have to follow the people who talk about this. And a lot of people that I heard in the MMA community constantly said stuff like Ronda Rousey was the equivalent of Goldberg, right? In the sense that she was never legitimately put in there to actually have quality matches, or at least matches with people who knew what the fuck they were doing. Again, this is not my opinion. This is what the MMA community is saying. They compared her to Goldberg in the sense of, like, you know how people say Goldberg was protected because he only had to go in there and wrestle, like, you know, 2 minutes against a bunch of jobbers, or jobber to the stars, and he was just sitting there just to impress, right? You know, do a spear here, do a jackhammer there. That was pretty much it. Bob is your uncle, get the fuck out of there. Well, apparently they fed Ronda Rousey a bunch of low-class jobbers, and the minute she actually stepped in there with a Holly Holm or an Amanda Nunes and she got her ass rocked, that was the comparison to Goldberg being exposed, having to work with people like a William Regal, for an example, because, well, he didn't know how to work, and in the traditional sense. That's how they compared Ronda Rousey to. So it's like, dude, be lucky that you even had a job, right? Like, after you lost your matches with Amanda and Holly, it's like, dude, your career was already down the drain, and WWE was grateful enough to pick you up, give you a fucking job, and keep you relevant. Like, yeah, it was a bit of a working relationship because your popularity was still peaking, but let's not pretend as if you were the only one out there that was contributing to the relationship. It's WWE. There's a reason why you came to them, to keep you relevant. Like, this is the amounts of ungratefulness and just again, no accountability. But trust me, it gets worse as time goes on, because we have more that we have to discuss in regards to this whole podcast stemming around Ronda Rousey.
Get him, Tony! Get him!
She continued on with her stupid fucking ranting by saying this, though. Check this out, right? So someone pressed her on the podcast. They were like, oh, should fans abandon hope for another comeback, right? Her coming back to WWE, as if anyone's actually ranting the Raven over this, right? She said, and I quote, this is Ronda Rousey, pretty much, I'd say so. I got into WWE because I wanted to be able to wrestle with my girls. You know, the 4 horsewomen, and be able to wrestle with my friends. And they kind of dangled that carrot for my whole run and never let it happen. She continues on by saying this. In the second run, they kept dangling it. And then by the end, I was like, I'm fucking leaving unless I can wrestle with Shayna Baszler. And that's how I was able to do it all, by the way. She continues on by saying this also. That's what made me have to step away, because it got to the point where I'm just like, they're never gonna allow me to make it as good as it can be. And like, meeting them halfway in this range of mediocrity, it's like crushing my soul. So I can't continue to do that. And then she goes on to talk about her creative sabbatical or whatever. I'll take everything that I learned from pro wrestling and apply it elsewhere and to my other passions, you know, in comics and fight choreography, and in film and screenwriting and all of these things. If anything, it was like I was doing like a sabbatical. No one cares, little bro. Why does she think her shit doesn't stink? Holy... Bro, I've never seen anyone this narcissistic in my life. For anyone who watches MMA consistently, right? In particular, about a decade ago, was she always like this? Like, was she like this in the MMA realms too? I remember seeing a story about her saying that she can fight Floyd Mayweather, or maybe I'm taking that out of context. Maybe I don't know what it said verbatim, but I remember something along the lines of that. Someone can correct me in the community if they would like to. But like, was she always this cocky and this arrogant to the degree where she actually believes that she is the goddess of the universe, right? No one's asking for you to come back, young lady. No one gives a fuck that you're coming back. No one wanted to see that match with you and Shayna Baszler, okay? Nobody. As a matter of fact, they called it the drizzling shits. No one fucking cared. Bro, what is wrong with her? What is wrong with her? Like, I just wanted to wrestle my friends. I wanted to do things with the 4 horsewomen. You know what's so fucking ironic about the whole 4 horsewomen stuff, right? So like, who it was Ronda, it was Shayna, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir. Who would have guessed that the only one that's active right now that's actually doing something is Marina Shafir? Who would have guessed that? Who would have thunk that? Jessamine Duke has never been anybody. I mean, maybe, I don't know, being a lesbian with Mia Yim, but pretty much nothing else. Shayna Baszler, she was doing something, and then, you know, Vince and Triple H completely ruined her. And Ronda Rousey is Ronda Rousey. The only one who's actually relevant still is Marina Shafir with the Dick Riders. Who would have thunk? Who would have guessed, right? But no, Ronda, no one cared, bro. No one asked for you. No one cared for you. Maybe in the beginning, but damn sure by your second run, everybody hated you. You know this. You made fun of people who constantly went after you because of your bruised fucking ego. Okay, your emotions, my feels got hurt, got touched. Oh my God, they me too'd my feelings. Shut up. No one cares, bro. All you do is bitch and moan about things that are completely out of your grasp anyways, because you don't know how to fucking work. You have no creative endeavors that made me feel like, for the love of God, your whole shtick was being a female Roddy Piper, and you didn't even get that all too well, because Ronda Rousey compared to Roddy Piper is pissing all over his goddamn grave when you take into context how fucking good of a legend he was. So please, Ronda, please. Oh my God. If only I found you sexy, I would say do OnlyFans, but my God. But it gets even worse, folks, because you think egotistical Ronda Rousey with her shit talking about Vince, about the fact that she could have done so much better than WWE as far as her run being played out, her shit talking about how she's so much better than wrestling and all this. Oh, it gets better because she actually goes out of her way to single out one of the wrestlers. Check this out in a little bit.
They are a special crew, the chosen few, and they will blow you all to smithereens.
She went on to randomly say this about Alexa Bliss. I don't even know where the fuck this came from. She said, and I quote, "The fact they had me fighting Alexa Bliss and all was fucking ridiculous. And you want to know why they had me against Alexa Bliss? Because she had the most merch sales at the time." Like, what the fuck? Like, what's your decision-making process? But this is the same person that says she wants to run creative. This is the person that she wants to run her own creative. She actually, this oh my God, this ignoramus. She said, why did they put her up against Alexa Bliss? You fucking mark. I hate calling other wrestlers marks because it makes me feel like a mark, unless your name is Tony Khan, where you're not really a wrestler. I mean, actually, you are a verified mark. But like, to actually go after the wrestlers, like, I hate doing this because it makes me feel like a mark. But goddamn, what do you call that? What else do you fucking call that? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Do you know how many giants go up against midgets? Because it draws because they're popular, Ronda? How are you in the wrestling, bro? Who let her in the wrestling business? I need to know. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Did it really help anything in regards to stats or whatever? Did it really do much for you, huh? I'm very curious. What is like, I don't know, like the return on investment from a Ronda Rousey tenfold? I'm very, very curious. Because, oh my God, what an insufferable douchebag. What do you mean? What do you mean why they put you up against Alexa Bliss? Because Alexa Bliss was popular at the time, way more popular than what she is right now, but she was popular. Probably one of the most popular divas of 2018 before Becky blew up. And you, for some ungodly reason, were still pretty much peak in your popularity with pop culture. So you take popular superstar here, and you take popular superstar here, and you put them up against each other because that's how wrestling works. It's called drawing. What are you talking about? What am I missing here, bro? I don't get it. I don't get it. And it gets a little bit deeper in this lore because MJF seen how much of a mark she was acting like, and he ended up coming to her defense. I mean, crazy, right? He was like, it's almost like pro wrestling, much like any professional sport, functions as a business. Fucking crazy, mind blown emoji. Yeah, boss. Yeah, boss. Yes. Yes, seriously. How are you in the wrestling business thinking like this? Like, it's insanity, bro. It's insanity. And mind you, this goes a little bit deeper because after MJF said this, the guy who has the chat rooms, Ibu, whatever the fuck his name is, he had to chime in. The guy who had the chat rooms that was starting all the rumors on the wrestlers, he was like, mind you, Lexi, call her Alexa, bro. You don't know her. Fucking weirdos. I hate when wrestling fans do that. Mind you, Lexi made her look good, and the matches were heated. Bliss was literally the champion, if I remember correctly. I don't get this straight. Bury the office if you want, but I don't see the benefit of this, right? Because, of course, I don't know. I wouldn't have the fucking audacity to go back and forth. I mean, you would have to say something deliberately retarded for me to go back and forth with a wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, if they say something, typically because they're in the business, I tend to be a little bit more hesitant to go back and forth with them in direct conversation because I'm only knowing things that's being released to me. I don't know what they actually see on an everyday basis. I don't know, just to have the audacity and the cocky attitude to feel like you can go back and forth with them is kind of crazy. But MJF did clap back. He was like, made her look good. No clue what you're talking about. Ronda was the superior athlete, which he actually might be right. I mean, she is the MMA girl after all. Alexa Bliss, for all intents and purposes, an athlete in her own right. But I mean, she is a wrestler, which is pretty much acting. Ronda is an actual athlete, is what he's getting at. He continues by saying, however, it was a good match. It was good matchmaking on part of the people structuring the fight card because both pro wrestlers would move tickets and draw the most ratings, or move the most tickets and draw the most ratings. Which, yeah, I mean, again, whenever I see wrestling fans talk like this, you know what I mean? Like, they all try so hard to focus strictly on the match criteria in itself and not think about the popularity of the wrestler, not think about the mic skills. That we talk about this all the time. The sole focus is on how good the wrestler wrestles inside of the ring. Like, when that's your main focus and you want to talk about backstage stuff, you just make yourself look like a fucking clown every fucking time, bro. And then he went on to say, anyway, fuck. Okay, you can see that on the screen. That has nothing to do with the topic in itself, but still funny nonetheless. But yeah, her going out of her way to bury Alexa Bliss to bring out MJF is crazy. It just goes to show you that Ronda Rousey, in my opinion, had no business being in the wrestling business. Somehow, some way, she ended up in it because of her popularity from UFC. Then she got exposed in UFC, and then she went to WWE, who gave her a helping hand to stay relevant. She took that for granted. She thought everybody was up against her because of her narcissism. And well, look at her now. She probably still thinks that none of this, in regards to how she carried herself throughout professional wrestling, is her fault. She never got better in the ring. She never got better at her promos. She was conceited as fuck. She was narcissistic as fuck. She was vain as fuck. She had the ego of 1,000 goddamn sons. And yet it's everybody else's fault. And if you call her out on all of her lack thereof in regards to skills, she shifts the goalposts and she says things such as, well, they should have trained me properly, right? Because, yeah, totally, Matt Riddle, former MMA guy, wasn't an in-ring guy who knew how to fucking wrestle, right? No, totally. Logan Paul, guy who comes from fucking YouTube, they should have trained me properly. Oh, she actually did go after Logan Paul one time too, saying he got all the attention and, you know, all of this and that, and they gave me crumbs. Maybe it's because I'm a woman. She does that a lot too. She likes to blame everything on sex. No, Ronda. Or maybe it could just be the fact that Buddy is just a natural born athlete, a better athlete than you, and he put time and effort into learning the craft. They seen this and they wanted to shape themselves around this. Because again, Logan Paul wanted to actually do this. He wanted to try. He actually is good at what he's doing. What do you mean? What? Oh my God, Ronda, just stay away from the wrestling business. Never come back. No one wants you back. Seriously, go away. Why are you here? Go do your stuff that you were talking about. Be a mom. Do anything. Just stay away from wrestling. And yeah, no one should have even thought about bringing you in past the point of WrestleMania back when 34. After WrestleMania 34, that should have been it right then and there. Unfortunately, they brought you back again. And, well, you main event at WrestleMania. You put the women on the map as far as showing the potential of what they can actually do, even though that potential was absolute ass. But yes, just go away, bro. We all hate you. Seriously. Everybody in the wrestling community, for the most part, fucking hates you. But we have one more thing we have to talk about, and we're going to leave here on a high note. Kinda. Not really. You'll see what I mean when we actually get to the topic in itself.
Goofy Goober, aka the loser named Dooja who can't get any viewers.
It looks like Matt Riddle is getting canceled. And I quote, in light of recent public statements made by Matt Riddle regarding the topics of SA and DV, SuperCon has made the decision to cancel his appearance at this year's convention. The statements that were made in no way represent our organization or event and are not aligned with the mission, vision, and values of our organization. Fans that have purchased photo ops in advance for Matt Riddle will be automatically refunded this week to their original form of payment. SuperCon has always strived to be a safe and inclusive space and event for all to feel welcome, including those that have been affected by SA and DV. This is why we, along with New Sound Wrestling, will be donating 10% of the proceeds from all the Supermania tickets sold to the Compass Center to support the work they do in our community for our survivors and victims, which is stemming off of the fact that, apparently Riddle Riddle's removal comes after he lashed out online calling fans dumb fucking cunts for believing that Me Too shit. Oh, okay, gotcha. So that's where it's all stemming from. I thought it was coming off of the fact that he was talking about the AJ Lee stuff. But nevertheless, though, I don't, even if it was about the AJ Lee stuff, I don't agree with this at all. Matt Riddle is an abysmal dumb fuck. I will stand by that to the day that I die. Matt Riddle is a disgrace. He's a pretty shitty human being, and honestly, he's a jealous, envious bastard that literally stems everything off of his problems based off of that, right? I have no love lost for Matt Riddle, but like I said, and I always will say this, and I always will continue in saying this, free speech. Free speech. People can say all that, oh, Devontae, free speech doesn't mean free from consequences. Now, I will say, as far as the approach that this promotion did, I get it. I can't really hold them accountable all too much because I guarantee you they pretty much did it because these are the consequences that will be laid upon them if Matt Riddle was there, and then the fans will see him there and, oh, look at that, a wrestling promotion is actually booking Matt Riddle. Like, I get it. I know why they did it. If it was just to preserve their business, completely understandable, right? But my thing is this, though. Like, I feel like you enable people to have more power over people's lives and stuff like that when you do shit like this, right? You can say whatever you want about free for consequences and all this other kind of shit. Yeah, but like, you should be ostracized from your family members, your friends. That should be like societal consequences, right? I feel like I don't like it when you start playing with people's money, when you start playing with people's jobs. Now, one may call this karma because, okay, Matt Riddle, you want to play with other people's money. This is karma like a motherfucker. But just generally speaking, going after people's livelihoods because they said things that you disagree with, I'm never going to be on board with. No matter if I fucking despise the person, never going to be on board with that. Do not want Matt Riddle to be losing out on money just because he says some things that other people disagree with, right? And he's not calling for anything. If it's illegal, I completely understand that. Obviously, this isn't a Roger Jackson situation. This is a guy who said a bunch of dumb shit, who's now being taken to task by taking his money away from him. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not cool. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I understand the premise as to why SuperCon did what they did, but like, you shouldn't be. There needs to be a way that we can combat this, bro. In the sense of like, you can't let people just have their way with your promotion like that, bro. You can't, man. You can't just let fans decide that, hey, I don't like this guy, get him off the fucking card. And, you know, you get them off the card, but it's like a few people who are saying this versus everybody else who doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like, if you have such a problem with Matt Riddle being on the show or being at that convention or whatever, then you personally get a refund and you go do something else with the rest of your life. Don't push for people to lose lose out on their paycheck and shit because a couple of words that you don't like. I don't like what he said either. That doesn't affect my everyday life. Even if I was going to the convention, him being at the convention, it doesn't affect me. I'll just go see every other wrestler besides him if I'm going to take it that personal. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Hold him accountable in the sense that, like, you know, you want to not deal with him, or, you know, you want to, you know, again, ostracize him, ignore him, whatever. But fucking with the man's money because he says some things that you disagree with, nah, never gonna be on board with that. Don't like that at all. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to how you feel about today's video. Like I said, a bunch of MMA fighters don't know how to keep their fucking mouth shut, and it's coming back to bite them in the ass. Whether it's Roger Jackson, whether it's Rampage Jackson, whether it's Matt Riddle, or even in some cases, because all you're really doing is, I don't know if Ronda Rousey is even rage baiting at this point. I think she legitimately feels this way, but now people are gonna come after her and all of her comment sessions on her social media posts, and it's probably going to be relentless, no different than how I see the MMA fans go after her already, because, you know, she seems like she's entitled in that field also. If you guys just learn how to shut the fuck up and know how to conduct yourselves within society, none of these problems would be happening. But now that they're happening, you're going to probably run to your socials and pretend to be a victim all over again, even though you're the ones who are rolling the ball and making this all fucking happen. But just my 2 cents. You guys put your 2 cents in, and you know, I'll you know, take your 2 cents and run away with it like the kind of I will be catching you guys later. I almost said the J word. A deuces and a P. Eyes. Jewish.